there's no sense of putting.
No. This is film, man. This is gonna run. This is gonna be a loop at my wake.
Presenting to you your KC legends, Hal, Crazy, Dan, CD, and the Who Man himself.
All right, thanks for joining us. We're at this Kansas City Disc Golf Legends Skins match. We're out at Swope Park. It's Saturday, June 5th. Beautiful day, just a light breeze, no chance of rain. We got hole 1 here, and it is 285 feet, slightly downhill. We're not gonna play the Mandos today. We do have a CTP on this hole. It's $50, brought to you by the Kansas City Chain Reapers. So first hole, even with the push, somebody's making some money. So we're gonna start the order and rotate every hole. We're starting with the youngest PDGA number. So up first on hole 1 is gonna be Who Man.
My name is LaRon Harris, PDGA number 5703. Started playing disc golf in 1989, right here at Swope Park. One of the questions was, what is my favorite course? Which one is my favorite course? And that would be the original Swope Park. Just have so many memories here, cut my teeth here. First round ever here was a 71. So yeah, Swope Park will always have my heart. Wanted to talk about a few accomplishments. All right, have 7 club championship first place division wins. I have 6 DDO wins, 5 Open, 1 Masters, and 5 Star City Shootout championships from Lincoln, Nebraska. Kind of like those since I have more than 1 win. It just kind of puts more feathers in the cap there. And I think that's it. You know, here to have a lot of fun and win a little money. Thanks for being a part of it. Peace.
Look at this rope. Hit it! Dude, this is not gonna be fair. Holy smoke.
Right.
Oh. Hey, we're playing triples against you. Just accept it.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Bust it.
Damn, nice.
Oh, hell, baby. Nice, CD. That's a push.
That's a push.
See, that's why I'm saying we should have a side bet. That's what I'm talking.
CD won the CTB, but Dan hit a big putt to push it.
Yes, he did. Did we measure that?
Put that in the archives. We can talk about the big putts later.
Just wanted to take a second to thank all our sponsors for making this possible today, especially Dynamic Disc and Bubbles. So please, if you have a chance, check them out, and thank you.
All right, here we are, hole 2. It is 320 feet, a little bit uphill. We had a push on the last hole. CD got the CTP, sponsored by Chain Reapers, and there is no CTP on this hole. We're just playing for 2 skins. Let's go. CD's up.
When did you start playing disc golf? Me. I started playing in 1979. I was a 16-year-old, just started high school, and Tom Engel was running the North American Series points tournament at Liberty Memorial at Penn Valley Park. I was amazed that I was not as good as I thought. Favorite course in KC? Oh my, so many rounds, so many courses, so many more now. It's crazy. It has to be Swope version 1, the Falls course. Oh my gosh. Just so many rounds there, so many memories, learned so many shots, met so many people. Number 1 right there, Swope. Most memorable moment playing. Well, I just recounted the other day at one of many, Laurel Springs Open. I believe it was 1990 or 91. It was my 3rd year there. Traveled with Rick and Lynn. 3rd year at Laurel Springs. My 3rd hole of the round, I hit the 3rd ever official tournament ace on Laurel Springs. It was hole 17. No, it wasn't hole 3, but and then just so many more, traveling with so many people and playing so many events. But that one stands out. That was with the Rock, of course. Favorite disc? Well, these days, it's got to be a first run miniature bubble top Blizzard Boss. 150, the thing booms. I've since named him Mr. Flippy, since I don't grab the one that is just so overstable, his twin. Yeah, but Mr. Flippy just goes. So, long ways. And that's where my hashtag Blizzards Fly Far comes from. What does Swope Park disc golf mean to you? Well, like I already said, my favorite course. Been playing Swope 1 since 1979 when it went in. The family of all my big brothers and my little sisters to get together every time, just great. That's it. Low. Catch, José.
It looks like my shot. I hope. That's all I got, man. Uphill like that. It's a hard throw.
No, the crowd loves crazy.
You so special. Brother got to work hard today.
Okay, here we are, hole 3. We pushed the first 2 holes, so we're at $75 in skins for this hole. This is a CTP brought to you by Disc Golf Nomad, and we're right under the trees. Here is the basket at 208 feet, and Dan Cashen is going to be up first. All right, Danny boy.
It's just that one right there, right? Or when did you start playing disc golf? And in my mind, it was my summer between my junior and senior year in high school. So I graduated in 80, just to give you a time frame. But that's when Tommy, disc play was coming to Kansas City, and not just disc golf, but there was ultimate and there's freestyle and throw, run, catch. I mean, there's all these other games that nobody knows about came to Kansas City. So that's when I turned on to it, to Frisbee. And then baskets came to town, and that was 80 or 81 at Swope Park. And I was in the situation where I was the guy that was putting the course in at the time. Me and him were buddies. 10 years my senior. I was a kid. Anyway, I got to help put the original course in, was what I'm getting at. And it was fun, and I watched it, and then I came back. That's when I started playing Frisbee golf, back in the early days of Kansas City, Swope Park. Most memorable moment playing, favorite disc. Okay, cool, this is easy, holy smokes. So there's a couple of them. I threw a skip ace on number 3 Rosedale once, and it was badass. In tournament play, it was like, bam, just went up and bam. I remember that. But also remember in the 89 US Open Fall Championship that was at Swope Park, Tom Ingle, who was the creator of Swope Park, Frisbee golf course, had a bunch of people coming in from all over the country. I mean, there was California, Sammy Farron, Snapper Pearson. There was all kinds of folks. There was just a bunch of people there. And I happened to win that weekend. Got to play in a final round with a gallery, and it was epic. It was cool as heck. But anyway, in a hometown thing, so that's my second favorite. Favorite disc, that's a difficult one. I gotta say rock, and DX rock, because I don't really know anything other than that. But that form, that mold is so dependable for whoever's throwing it. Just go lighter with it if you need to, that you can always scale your arm speed and that kind of stuff, but it's such a dependable disc. But that's my favorite disc. I like the Rhino too, and the AVR, and the Wraith, Stingray, they're all great. But I'm old school too, and I'm not going after world championships here. I'm just gonna go out and have fun and
Ace Mason!
Okay, look. Yeah. I just. Is that illegal?
Yes.
It is?
Oh, really?
Well,
No.
LaRon got the CTP.
It was within a foot of something.
Just wanted to take a second to thank all our sponsors for making this possible today, especially Dynamic Disc and Bubbles. So please, if you have a chance, check them out, and thank you.
All right, hole 4. It's going to be a CTP brought to you by Minsky's Pizza for a $25 gift card. The distance is 240, pretty much wide open. We pushed the first 3 holes, so this is a $200 skins hole. And up first is Crazy John.
When did you start playing disc golf? First of all, Mattrick, Dave Fuentes, Mattrick Wright, Amanda, and José, thank you so much for out here bringing out your best and sacrificing for us. Appreciate the compliment. When did you start playing disc golf? I got the bug in college at Ole Miss. I went to music school down in Oxford, Mississippi, and a guy named Steve Kelly had an organized round that they would play Saturday on a campus course. So I was in music school, so waiting for marching band to start at 11 a.m. every morning. There's a group of some long hairs that would play fribsy on the band practice field from 10 o'clock on. So I hopped in and then got the bug. Favorite course in Kansas City. My favorite course in Kansas City, the original Swope is the only Swope, really, our crowning glory here in Kansas City. That's my favorite. My first job in disc golf, too, actually, working with Tom Engel, working for Tom Engel, taking greens fees and giving lessons, and $4 for 18 and $5 for all day play. So my favorite course, Kansas City, be the Buck and Doe. Double Black Diamond Fribsy Ranch. It was on Red Bridge Road. So proprietors Bob and Nisa Field moved out to Florida, so the course is no more. My most memorable moment playing is quite a few. Winning the World Championships, the men's overall world titles, got to be way up there. My first time of 2. I won the next year also at the World Disc Championships. Winning the Japan Open, winning $1 million, holding that check, that was pretty fun. First American to win the European Cup. First American to win the Swiss Cup. First American to win the Japan Cup. It's just all a big bunch of fun. Honestly, my favorite time maybe hasn't occurred yet. So I got my eyes on next year, 2022. It's also my PDGA number. Favorite disc, probably the Rock, DX Rock. DX AVR putter. They're the one that have really put the money in the back pocket. And thanks to Dave Dunapace and Tim Selinsky, Harold, Charlie, Steve, Sam, those guys gave up their lives to create Innova. So that's it. What does Swope Park Disc Golf mean to you? It means that we have a representation of disc golf in the middle of the city, and that's what's important. I'd like to see a more thorough introduction to the neighborhood and the community that surround any course before it actually goes in the ground, so it feels more conducive to everybody's liking rather than just a forced option. So that goes in anywhere, any city, any country. Thanks a lot. Happy Saturday, y'all.
Oh, right on, man. I didn't want to be late.
Where's your tape measure? Bam! Oh, come on!
You don't know how good Minsky's pizza is.
Right?
This is for a pizza.
And CD won by about a foot.
I'll share. Yeah. That's okay, I got a pizza.
All right, hole 5, brought to you CTP by Launchpad Disc Golf, the Launch Pattersons. They're in the house today, so if you see them, say hi. So we got 255 feet. It's kind of right under the left side of the back side of this tree. LaRon won 4 skins on the last hole. It's $100. And we got $25 skins on this hole. So let's go. Hal's up first.
When did you start playing disc golf? Okay, so in '76, I went to Arizona State on a gymnastics scholarship. And I retired from gymnastics, this is like '78, and saw this kid doing freestyle. And I had to learn how to do it, so that's kind of how I started. And then when I came back, when I was driving home from Arizona, I stopped in Boulder, and they had the world, you know, all the events and everything, and that's when you saw Westerfield, Craig Van Sickle, Tom Monroe, all the biggies playing. I'm going, I got to do that. And then when I first came back, then I saw Crazy John, and that's how we became partners in '78. And about '79, started playing disc golf. You know, it was kind of like object golf, and kept doing that, but did ultimate. And then I joined the PGA. My PGA number is 1195. And then played ultimate for a while. Still played disc golf, but then got serious about disc golf 85, 86, and been playing ever since, which is awesome. Favorite course in KC? Wow. Well, obviously Swope was, you know, one of the first courses, and that was awesome. The course I really like now is Cedar Ridge, but obviously Waterworks Cliff Drive are my faves. Down Under, obviously. Wow, most memorable moment playing disc golf. There's so many of them. You know, for me, I mean, I love competition, but for me, it's all about the fellowship. Getting together with your buddies, hanging out, meeting new people. You know, I love playing, so the moment is always when you're playing or you're meeting people or you're just getting together. So, you know, I guess that's one of my most, they're all memorable. What does Swope Park disc golf mean to you? Well, it's the beginning. It's, you know, kind of where it all started, you know, with Tom Engel. Well, Gilliam Park was the first golf course, that was object, and then Swope. And I mean, it's really heart-wrenching when they took the course out. It's like, why couldn't they put that whole dog thing over here? But I guess when somebody gives you $30 million and they want it right there, they're going to put it right there. You know, Kansas City, as far as disc golf, the community is probably one of the biggest communities in United States. I mean, you guys know, you're part of the community. You just see the fellowship, and it's just awesome. So, yeah. And it's really neat for you to put this on and put this together with everybody. I mean, I see these people, but being all together is just kind of neat. So thank you for that.
What was that, Craze?
That's wide enough.
What was it?
Leopard.
There's a leopard, everybody. 10 high.
Rock. Turnover. Turnover.
That was a turnover. Apple, cherry. Oh, they're going out west. Like they're going out.
I thought those were pop-ups.
Pop-Tarts.
I like to just go with myself.
Just wanted to take a second to thank all our sponsors for making this possible today, especially Dynamic Disc and Bubbles. So please, if you have a chance, check them out, and thank you.
Okay, we had a push on hole 5. We're on hole 6. It's 438 feet downhill. And LaRon is up first again.
Yeah?
Yep, we just made one full cycle, so
Okay.
starting over.
Nice.
No.
That could be a long putt.
Look at that
Get
flip
up
up.
and
Come
lost
on.
the wind.
Wow. There you go. That might have been a little far right. That's
Nice though.
That's all better.
That board can crush people.
Nice.
Way short.
Oh, baby!
Yeah.
The man, the myth.
Gotta
Nice
learn
flip.
that action.
Oh, come on. What was that disc?
Now let's hear from Jack Lowe.
My name is Jack Lowe, and I am about to read questions that were sent to me.
Perfect. Yeah, good to go.
First question was, when did the original Swope go in the ground? So to my knowledge, I believe it was 1979 or 1980. Tom Engel was the original designer. Tom lives in California now. Tom actually worked out an agreement, and again, this is my take on it. Tom worked out an agreement with the park to rent the land and then pay the park, and he made the first pay-to-play course. There was an argument with Ed Hedrick at the time, Steady Ed, so it was the first golf course because disc golf was already trademarked, and the naming rights Tom was notified that he had infringed upon. So Swope became the first golf park, and then Tom eventually designed a course that was also attached to Worlds of Fun, which is now where Oceans of Fun is at. But that same hilly land and area used to actually be part of a 9-hole disc golf course. Interestingly for me, the first time I played Swope Park, I think was 1988. I came here and went to just go play around, and I'd been playing for, at that point, about 4 or 5 years pretty regularly in Iowa. There's no pay to play. And this little guy comes running out, yelling at us, "Hey, you gotta check in." And we're like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." And then all of a sudden they were asking for money. And I was a little aghast with that thought. I would have been, 17, 18 years old, just down here visiting, and that was not something that I was wanting to have any part of. Did pay, only had enough money for 9 holes, didn't have enough for the full 18 as I had somebody else with me. Went to Worlds of Fun later in life and saw the Oceans of Fun course, which was about the same price if I remember, but I brought extra money that day, so I played that one more. When I moved to Kansas City in '89, I actually didn't play disc golf because of Swope, because it was a pay-to-play place, and I was not going to pay to give money to play a sport that was free everywhere in Iowa and Illinois at that point that I had played. So Swope had diminished me initially. Eventually I found Rosedale in about 91. I worked at Oak Park Mall, and somebody came in to buy shoes. Said, "I'm going to play disc golf," and I followed him. So that's how I found Rosedale. I kept looking for another location for Rosedale where the arch was, not where the course was.
All right, hole 7, we pushed the last 2 holes, so we're at 3 skins. They're $75 for this hole. It's 267 feet, and we got a $25 CTP sponsored by Condor Disc Golf. And first up will be CD.
How do you feel?
Get over there, rat.
Looking good. Hurry it up. Nice, CD.
Come on, baby.
You gotta give Jose some.
Right.
Todd Henry.
Yeah, nice.
Get in it. Get out.
Hit it.
Nice. Nick R. Beitman, Jamie Berry.
Yeah, nice, bro. That's a push.
Oh, that's so nice.
Nice. That's so nice.
That'll be the CPTV.
Hey, good luck, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks again, bro. Another measurement.
It is a little juicy.
Measure them out. Looks like you won.
Hey, I'm gonna get out of the way while you guys measure.
Okay. Who concedes?
It ain't me. I don't know. I don't concede. Where'd you take it?
It's a 1,000%.
Wow. Is like 3 inches closer on that.
LaRon was like 9.5, and that was your 10th step right there, wasn't it?
Yeah, we're on.
Wow.
Less than a foot, less than a shoe.
Who?
LaRon got it.
Just wanted to take a second to thank all our sponsors for making this possible today, especially Dynamic Disc and Bubbles. So please, if you have a chance, check them out, and thank you.
What big events were held here? So there were many, including the Fall Open, the Fopen. I think Cashen actually won that as the last tournament winner. Actually, part of the other parts of the course the park were used for that. Many world championships, many national tours, many super tours. Super tours were before national tours for the PDGA. Swope hosted the final 9 for the 1999 Amateur World Championships that Rick Rothstein ran, and then in 2003 when I ran the Amateur Worlds here, it also was the finals. And then it evolved with Swope Gold really in 2003, shortly after USDGC had enamored the disc golf community with ropes. We decided to do Swope on a rope, eventually becoming Swope Gold. Many configurations of that, but there were quite a few different iterations of it over the years. One of the most exciting times there was during the 2003 Amateur World Championships. Kansas City hosted the final leg of the national tour on its inaugural year, and we did a final 9, and Ruth Steele was one of the few people that hit the keyhole design, and the crowd went wild. But the Kansas City Wide Open National Tour event ended on Sunday, and we started AM Worlds that Monday and Tuesday, so we had quite a few spectators and galleries going on there. It was very exciting. Let's see, last time I think I ran the Wide Open, and I misread the rules on the drop zone for hole 2 when Paige Pierce was playing through there, and she's like, "Jack, you're wrong," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm absolutely wrong," but I completely messed up the call on Paige's drive for the women's there. Completely butchered it. We had the island there coming back off hole 2, and she hit it, and I was trying to set her somewhere else, and she's like, "You don't even know the rules." And at that point, it was Sunday, Wide Open week. I was a little, "Yep, you're right, completely stupid, so never mind me. Please disregard what I say sometimes."
I was gonna definitely tell you who's first, and then I was gonna hope you could figure it out from there. Okay, hole 8, 280 feet. We're gonna have 4 skins on this hole, so $100 in skins. LaRon got the CTP on the last hole by less than a step, very close. Thank you to Condor Disc Golf there. And up first is going to be Dan. Let's go.
I ain't got it, man.
Brock Barrett.
Yeah, nice.
Brock.
Oh, Brock, yeah.
Brock.
Uh-huh.
Get in the sun!
Here's one. Bill Van Ness. All right.
CD, that was a good pump, man. It's
paying.
effortless. Hit it, hit it, hit it!
Right! Nice!
That is freaking awesome! Awesome!
Oh, yeah.
Said I ain't paying. It wasn't supposed to go in.
I got 5 for it.
Got to see that, man.
Leaving Craze hanging over here.
Gotta be
Don't leave Craze hanging.
shot, CD. There you go, buddy.
I'll go home
Thank you,
now.
Saul.
Yeah. It's all over. Let's leave.
Killing me. That has to be the question. We're gonna roll off.
You gotta be going. Well, there's no sense of putting.
No. This is film, man. This is gonna run. This is gonna be a loop at my wake.
Come on. We waited for that.
Couldn't wait to die after that putt.
Just when I thought I had a spin.
I know, LaRon.
See, we all gotta sign it.
Well, yeah.
Nice shot, bro.
But you can never use it
Hang
again.
on, you
if
can't
we
use
sign
this in.
Can't use it again if they go in once. Got some wings on it.
Okay. What's your PDJ number?
2883.
And what'd you make it with?
154 Blizzard Destroyer. Thank you. All right, now.
That's awesome. Hey, that was good. That was good content.
Absolutely. My 4-time champ leopard. It's got 4 aces on it. That was my last ace.
So in 2015, I got a phone call from the Parks Director, I think it would have been Deputy Parks Director Mark McHenry, and got called into his office to discuss the possibility of a no-kill animal shelter being put on the course at Swope, or on the land. It was a possibility. There were 2 other locations. Swope was one of 3, and I met with Mark, the city manager, Troy, and a couple other folks from Parks and Rec. We had a conversation that basically went along the lines, and I'm like, well, you know, the course is big enough. We've got the Swope Gold portion. We'll just move to the other side, and we'll figure it out. You need a few acres. Our initial conversation was 3 acres, so we weren't really too concerned. That grew to 5 acres about a year later, and we still were like, well, we could make it work. It's a little more than what we want. It became 7, and then it became get the F off our land. And it was not the Parks and Rec department. It was really more the city manager's office, and that was more of the determining factor versus the Parks and Rec. So when people say Parks killed Swope, that's really not the case. Had a conversation with somebody just this weekend about it. I'm like, Parks didn't kill it. It was the city managers in the city's office. Parks and Rec actually did not want us to leave because we had been such great stewards for the land for so many years. They felt as though that we deserved that property. I was a little torn because we've lost over 200 trees in there. And so to me, there was definitely some work we needed to do with replanting trees. And I viewed it as, well, we're going to have an opportunity to redo things. I did not realize we would have to replant trees because we need trees here. Fortunately for the Kansas City disc golf scene, I had signed a contract with the Kansas City Parks and Rec in Missouri about the land that we use for disc golf being disc golf land. And so it was basically a partnership that we are stewards of the land, but that land is ours. And if they remove us, they're to maintain and try to keep us whole with the course as much as they can. So the fortunate thing for us as an organization was that because of that contract, and we were the first in the country, or in the world really, that I'd ever heard of that even had a contract with Parks and Rec giving us land rights to a certain extent. We're still squatters, but that allowed us to have conversations about replacing us. We spent and I kid you not, probably 160 to 200 hours of myself, Dan Cashen, Jimmy Lozine, who's no longer with the parks, Scott Overbay, who's still with the parks, going over multiple areas within the park. And eventually we settled on this land because it was big enough. A lot of the other spaces we had were close. They just wouldn't be big for expansion. So, and also this is one of the busiest parcels of land on the park. It is visibly one of the best spots that we could be at. By having that visual representation of the park and where we're at, we're going to be able to grow into this much more so than being able to carve something out. And that's kind of where one of the things that goes with this is the course is in its infancy. The course, really the only thing I wanted done were the tee pads, and then everything else should come in. Everybody threw a conniption about a year ago when the baskets went in. Don't take them out. The course is there. And we're going to take them out here soon when we start to redo work. But it'll be for the benefit of the course and for the disc golfers, as you can see, once we start to move forward. And so by having that contract in place, it enabled us to be, you know, community partners, advocates within the park system to make that work.
Just wanted to take a second to thank all our sponsors for making this possible today, especially Dynamic Disc and Bubbles. So please, if you have a chance, check them out, and thank you.
All right, we're at hole 9. We just got done with the excitement from CD hitting a hole-in-one on hole 8. That was pretty amazing. 280 feet, no CTP, and we're only playing for 1 skin, so let's go. I think
Speedy, after hitting 8, you gotta go straight at it.
I have taken that route.
Just playing, Dan.
Yeah, he did.
Nice scan.
Nice. Solid.
Uh-oh.
It was an easily a 75-footer. Yeah, of course I did. I didn't think about it.
all right, we're back for the back 9 action. We had some fireworks on the front 9. Hole 10 here. It's 270 feet. We're gonna do a $25 Minsky's gift card CTP. Hal Baby is up first. I can go through the scores real quick. LaRon has 4 skins for $100. CD has 4 skins for $100. Dan got 1 skin for $25. And then the CTPs, I believe LaRon has 2 of them and CD has 3 of them. Yep, good to go.
We're just here to clap.
Clap on, clap on.
Clap on, clap on.
challenge.
He throws it pretty good, Timko.
There's your CTP.
There's your. What
Something
the
to aim
heck?
at.
What am I, chopped liver?
I don't like you right now.
Praise. Praise.
Get there. Short. Let's talk about it.
Oh yeah. That's
Stay up. Yeah. I'm going for the.
Trying to help you guys out.
Pick up, please.
Help you guys out.
God, I better make this.
José.
So I got married. Tracy and I were getting married back in '89, and at the reception, Brookridge Country Club. Amazing setup, dude. Oh my goodness. Then it turns out Jim Krieger and Tom Engel took off in Krieger's car and went out onto the golf course doing donuts. Drinking bourbon!
Are you serious?
Jim Krieger, right here, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
was drunk on my ass, man.
Oh my God.
Brookridge Country Club.
Damn. Get cheese.
It was fun.
Oh my God.
Brookridge Country Club, May 6, 1989.
I guess we'll never hear the end of it, Creep.
Hole 11 is 210 feet. We had another push on the last hole. CD took down the CTP. He's got himself a pizza party coming. This is an island hole. We're gonna play all the concrete's out of bounds, and then there's a line by the hay bales that will also be out of bounds. And it is a $75 CTP hole sponsored by Condor Disc Golf. And LaRon will be up first.
Sir.
Beat that one.
I didn't think.
Oh, you. That was freaking awesome. Come on, get left. Get left. Hustle. You're channeling time.
Shot. Yeah.
It's a little short.
I think you got it.
I don't know. We'll let the numbers fall where they may.
Tape twisted.
10-5, 11-2.
There you go.
Hey, nice. Right. Now I need to make the putt. Pushers.
I'm so glad we made those 10 putts.
Just wanted to take a second to thank all our sponsors for making this possible today, especially Dynamic Disc and Bubbles. So please, if you have a chance, check them out, and thank you.
What can people expect from the new redesign? Moguls, trees. We're going to try to work on the water. I actually just left a meeting with the Parks and Rec. We're going to do some more design work out through here, but we want trees and design fairways that are going to enable us to be able to curve our shots and selections. About 20 trees initially, because that's about all we can maintain and keep watered. It's going to look more like a golf course versus a barren piece of land that a lot of people have mentioned it is. We've got some trees, tried to utilize those as much as we can, but the end effort's going to make people go, well, now that's cool, that's much better. And we're going to start with the back nine, basically, where it's a lot more open, and start to work on molding the earth, moving it around, addressing the water conditions, ensuring that we've got a place to play not only for now but in the future. It will take a year or so before we get it all finalized, but that's where we're going with it.
All right, hole 11 was another push. We had the $75 CTP that LaRon got by less than a foot over CD. That's a good one to get. We're playing for 3 skins on this hole. $75. No CTP on this hole, and it's 300 feet, and sidewalk safe, street and over is out of bounds to the left. CD's up first.
Mr. Car, are you on the island? I think you're safe.
Yeah.
I saw that S10. Oh! Yeah!
Hey, CD!
Happy to hit a 20-footer?
The club is a collective group of like-minded individuals that really drive to build a better community of disc golf within the municipality that we support. One of the things for me personally, when I moved to Kansas City the first time, like I said, Swope was pay to play, but it was nice. Concrete pads and things like that. And when I started playing in the 80s, concrete pads were, huh? What's that? And then as I moved to Chicago in the early 90s and then came back to visit, Swope, Rosedale Waterworks, even Olathe, all had nice concrete pads. They were well maintained. And a lot of that work was from the volunteerism of the clubs. A lot of people think Parks and Recs do that work. They don't. It's the work and effort of the people that enjoy the sport, that want to improve their house. The same thing with like the Wide Open. When we run these big events, Parks and Recs helps a little bit, but it's the volunteerism that comes out and makes the park beautiful. One of the things that, early on when I moved back to Kansas City, I promised myself I would do what it takes to join and help this community. And I remember running one of my first Wide Opens, and I went after we were done, and I was like, wow, I'm tired. And one of my local players that I played with, who eventually was in top 10, Don Noss, is like, well, I was always wondering why the courses look so nice in June. And it's not because Parks does it, it's because the club members do it. That involvement just takes you taking time, even if it's an hour a year, of working in the park and helping, even if it's just picking up trash. All those things enable us to have a better environment, and that's all done through the volunteer efforts of the club. Without the club, we wouldn't have a contract with Swope, and we wouldn't even be having this conversation because they just would have pulled the course. So unless you have somebody that's an advocate for the sport, that's doing what they can to help push things the right direction, you're not going to be heard. And that's what the club is to me, and that's why I joined the club and have been part of it now for over 2 decades.
All right, we're here at hole 13 on top of the world. You can basically see the whole park from here. We're gonna do a long drive competition. So first, each player is gonna throw their normal shot towards the basket and play for their skins, just like normal. And then after we go through that rotation, they each get 2 extra throws just to try to get as much distance as possible. So you're gonna see some extra shots, you're gonna see some people putting some power behind some stuff. And no CTP on this hole, but this long drive is sponsored by Launchpad Disc Golf, which this is the Launchpad right here. And we're at 4 skins, so $100 in skins on this hole as well.
Different disc. This one doesn't have an ace yet. Turn it. Didn't turn it.
The long drive competition, LaRon's was 432 feet, CD's was 423 feet, and Crazy was 393. So
LaRon
got the $25 Launchpad long drive.
Just wanted to take a second to thank all our sponsors for making this possible today, especially Dynamic Disc and Bubbles. So please, if you have a chance, check them out, and thank you.
So I first started playing disc golf in 1978, was the first time that I played. Interestingly enough, that was in Ottumwa, Iowa. Bob Kramer had set up a temporary course with Steady Ed at Municipal Park in Ottumwa, and I went with my mom and dad, and I kind of liked it. And then in 1982, they put in a course by my grandma's house in Ottumwa with saucer baskets, and so I threw some there. And then in 84, they put in a 9-hole course in Oskaloosa, Iowa, where I lived, and I started playing there. And then Jim Brennan sold me my first XD AVR putter, and I got a Lightning, gosh, what was a P14, I think? But Jim saw me throwing frisbees, and that was it. Bob Kramer actually came and played in the Wide Open, I think 3 years ago, 2018. And so I saw he was from Ottumwa, and when I introduced myself, I told my story. He's like, I was the one that put that course in. I was like, dude, do you have any idea what you did to me? I was like, when you think about it, you showed a sport to an 8-year-old kid who has now ran multiple world championships. I've been to Thailand, I've been to Japan. I'm like, it's incredible to think that I've played 700 courses, all because you got somebody to bring in baskets to a temporary park in Ottumwa, Iowa so many years ago. As I kind of alluded to earlier, whenever I came back to Kansas City, the courses were so nice. And even playing in Chicago when I lived there, you know, I would bring people from Chicago that I played disc golf with to Kansas City, because I'm like, these courses are great. There's elevation, there's terrain. You need mountains and you need an ocean, but hey, we can't build those. But that was one of the things that I promised myself when I moved back to Kansas City, that I would do what I could, do what it takes to try to help this community in any way, shape I can. And that has been through, you know, my very first kind of foray into the club was, there was nobody that was keeping in stats, for example. So I kept a spreadsheet and an Excel sheet of my league scores, and I updated that and I post them. There was a listserv that nobody was using, so I kept people informed. So really just communication was one of the things that I strived at when I first moved here. And I ran New Players League, and it kind of evolved from there. And then I ran for the board in one of the meetings. Dan Cashen nominated me, and somehow I became president. And then I've continued to this day to be, if I haven't been on the board in the last 20 years, it's been like a year or two hiatus, and then somebody begs me to come back. Now I view myself more as that historical archive, that knowledge base that understands what's happened in the last 20 years. I know enough about the history prior to that keeps me dangerous to a certain extent, but by being that point of reference, it enables me to help not make the same mistakes twice with the organization, or do things that are just backwards and just stop it.
All right, we're on hole 14 now. It's 357 feet. We have five skins on the line at $125. The last hole, LaRon Harris took down the long drive, the Launchpad long drive with 432 feet. And then we pushed the hole. So Crazy's up first.
boy.
So when I moved to Kansas City, there was Rosedale, top and bottom, Waterworks, Swope, Prairie Center. There's also California Trail Junior High School at 135th and Flum. And then we counted Lawrence as some of the local courses. So there are basically 6 places to play. We now have over 50. Most of the courses that are in the ground, if I didn't have direct involvement with, I helped facilitate conversations that led to that or was referenced in some way on, I would say, a solid 80% of them. Not all of them, but I've been to a lot of different locations, meetings, municipalities, organizers, city meetings, park board meetings, Kiwanis meetings, optometrist meetings, lots of meetings with a lot of people to just inform them of the sport. And our growth has kind of facilitated and necessitated that. There's a double-edged sword there. We now have too many courses that are not maintainable by our club and organization because everybody would rather play than go and clean the course. When we used to have work days, it was not uncommon to have 30 to 40 people show up. When you have 5 or 6 courses for our area, that's easy. Now that there's 50, it's a lot harder. You know, I met some people recently and I'm like, I've never met you. You're my age. How do you? Well, I don't go south of, you know, the river to play disc golf. It happens. So that growth has really warranted. COVID kind of exasperated it in some respects because it was something you could still do outside. They didn't close the parks in many instances. It's safe for social distancing. It's recreation. It's great low entertainment. And, you know, that's grown the sport quite a bit.
All right, on hole 14, CD took down 5 skins for 125 bucks. We're on hole 15 now. It's 235 feet and it's a CTP sponsored by Disc Golf Nomad. Right there, right in front of you. We're just playing for 1 skin again and Hal is up.
And that is straight. Good.
Don't put.
Yankees.
Oh, now you screw up.
Yankees are in town.
Yeah.
Now you screw up when I throw one. Is that is your skin? I already did that, Dan.
Sit.
Yeah. Sit, boo boo.
Hey, boo boo. Come on, Grace.
All right, we had a party over there. Thank you. Wow, baby.
Oh.
Just wanted to take a second to thank all our sponsors for making this possible today, especially Dynamic Disc and Bubbles. So please, if you have a chance, check them out and thank you.
The initial club started with a fight between Swope and Rosedale. So people didn't like pay to play besides me, and they talked the Rosedale folks into letting them put baskets out there, and that became a free to play course. And then there was a Swope Park faction, the Rosedale faction, the Untitled Chapter, and they all kind of got you know, split up amongst each other and eventually decided to join forces, I think, shortly after Tom moved, and that's when the club really started, and that would have been, I think, 1985 is when the certificate for the Kansas City Flying Disc Club to be a non-profit in the state of Missouri. That date may be wrong, but that's the one that sticks in my craw.
Hole 16, 280 feet. The The last hole was a single skin won by CD, who also took down the long putt, or put it at 43 feet. So unless somebody hits one longer than that in these last couple holes, we'll see if that stands. But 280 feet, slightly uphill, one skin, and LaRon's up first.
Oh.
I don't know.
I see. Great pull.
Wizards.
There. Don't put possibilities. Yeah.
Yeah! 90.
90?
90.
So disc golf day was something that was brainstormed between me and a few other disc golfers. It was after World's Biggest, which was World's Biggest actually had brought the city of Olathe in with buying baskets, because if you had the most participants for the World's Biggest disc golf day, which used to be ran by John Houck, you won a set of 9 baskets. And the Kansas City Flying Disc Club went all out, had about 500 people. They won the baskets, they won 9 baskets, and then they got the city of Olathe to buy 9 new ones, and that's how Prairie Center went in. Disc golf day was we're like, why are we giving Houck money? Why can't we have things that are specific to Kansas City? That's why we have disc golf day. And so the first few were full color photos of, I think we did Swope, Rosedale, and Waterworks, and then that idea kind of fizzled. But it was t-shirts and a disc, and it's evolved into that. I got the mayor to do a proclamation for disc golf day. It was Mayor Kay Barnes at the time, between me and Mark Morales, pushed that through. And so that's how that came about. The club championship has just been, that's it. It's the club championship, and it started, I'd have to look at the trophies. It predates me, but that's just when the courses, you pick a weekend of the local disc golf Kansas City Flying Disc Club courses, and you crown a champion. And that's a traveling trophy that I think José has it right now. I think he won it over, because I think Jake Lazo had won it the year before, but I could be wrong, because my playing days are, sadly, they should be over, although I still play.
All right, hole 17. We had a push on hole 16, so we're gonna be playing for $50 or 2 skins here. It's 365 feet. There's no CTP on this hole. And on the last hole, Crazy set the new standard for the long putt at 90 feet. Smashed one uphill. Wasn't really a putt, but we'll give it to him. CD's up.
Damn, you screaming that thing though. I don't want to do a sidearm competition.
intimacy of the old Swope is something that'll probably never be replicated, just because the land that was there initially was dealt with discs that if somebody threw it 200 feet, they were very good. And we have people throwing 600 feet regularly now. So the intimacy of some of the parks for disc golf and the nostalgia and the history of that are bygone. I mean, it's impossible for us to really, enjoy that as much if we want to enjoy the sport at that level. I'm not saying there's still not a need for smaller courses, because there is, because your first time out, you're not going to throw it 300 feet. You're not going to throw it 400 feet. You're going to be happy to throw it 150 feet. And if we make courses that are only for people that can throw 300 to 700 feet, we're going to be missing growth for quite a while from folks.
Thank you. Indeed. Dave.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Dave.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, thank you, Mattrick.
Yeah, you're welcome.
For inviting me.
Good
job, Matt.
Okay, we have made it to hole 18. We have 3 skins on the table, $75 for this hole. This hole is a CTP on the second shot, sponsored by the Kansas City Chain Reapers for $50. If we have a tie on this hole, we're gonna head over to hole 1 and do a normal sudden death playoff for the remaining 3 skins. Appreciate you all watching, appreciate you all coming out and supporting this, it's awesome. Like I said, this is a second shot CTP, so the closest to the pin after your second shot. The hole is 655 feet. It's the yellow flag way down yonder. And Dan's up first.
Thanks to Mattrick and Amanda, sorry, and Dave, and the crew that brought us so we can enjoy, Jerry and Tina in the back. So this is a Kansas City thing. I'm honored to be next to y'all. As always.
That's great.
Yes.
Yeah, he did.
Thank you. Okay, after hole 18, we had a push and 3 skins were pushed over, so we're gonna do a sudden death style playoff. You must, like, the lowest, you have to tie for the lowest score on a hole to continue. If somebody birdies and you par, you're out, you're done for. We're gonna play hole 1 and then hole 2 and just repeat that because it makes the most sense for walking and stuff. So, Crazy's gonna be up first.
No Mando, correct?
No Mando, $75 on the line.
Didn't get a chance to thank José Ossa on the catch camera today. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right.
Yankee. You can make it.
Huh? You.
Well, that's the problem with our putt.
I knew that.
Great skins, Trace.
Yeah, nice hit.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all.
I felt like that was gonna be the difference, you know.
Appreciate y'all. Thanks for the maps.
It was
Good job,
fun.
man.
Good playing. You guys played outstanding.
Well, she's a support mechanism.
There you go.
That's it for me.